Hi everybody, it is April and I am in my craft room and I am working on a project. This could be a good gift giving idea. I know we're not going to talk about it, but it's getting close to that time when we need to be thinking about gifts, and this would be an excellent gift idea. First things first, I had some leftover batting, some wrapping zap. I was able to make 2 squares. So I will show you how I cut this out. I like to keep my wrap and zap batting in the wrap and zap plastic. That way I know that it's wrap and zap. Make sure the things I've already cut are out of the way. So I'm going to lay this on my table. I'm going to square it up as much as possible. And then I am just going to cut out 2 more squares. Okay, so I need 2 pieces of this material in the 12.5 inches. You do not want to use your selvage, so you'll want to cut that off. And I'm hoping you can see. So again, just like I did my batting, I'm going to cut out my squares for the actual outside of the bowl cozy, sleeve, whatever we want to call it. Make sure I'm clear. Hi! Okay, so we now have our stack of 10.5 inch squares of 100% cotton fabric. We have a stack of our 10.5 inch squares of the heat and zap batting. And now what we're going to do is we're going to sew them together. And we're going to chain piece, so we're just going to do one right after the other. So I'm going to take my piece of batting and I'm going to take my square and I'm going to put it on my batting. And batting is kind of wonky, so sometimes it's not going to match exactly. And just adjust the fabric to match as well as possible. It's not an exact science. At least that's the way I feel about it. Some people might be more precise. My machine is loaded with 100% cotton thread. So I've got everything 100% cotton, so that if the person you're giving this to were to stick it in the microwave, hopefully it won't catch on fire. So you have 100% cotton thread, 100% cotton batting, and I use the wrap and zap because it's specifically made to be heated, to go in the microwave. And then I have 100% cotton material. So all we're going to do is we're going to sew an X. We're going to sew from corner to corner diagonally, if that makes sense. And again, you could mark it if you feel like you need to. I don't. It's just the way I roll. Okay, I am at the end of this diagonal stitch. So I am going to slowly keep going, and this is going to act as my leader. So I'm going to slowly stitch, and then I'm going to put my next diagonal square stitch thing in, and that way I don't have to break the thread. And I'm going to stitch this one until the end. And I'm just going to do the same thing over and over again. I'm going to fold this in half. And I'm going to cut out a little divot, kind of, which will, so I'm going to cut it out it's 2 inches by 1 inch. So I'm going to use my ruler. And actually, you could draw and use your mat to do it. So it's 1 inch tall, 2 inches long. But instead of writing on my material, which I could do, I could make a line. This isn't perfect, but I can make a line, and I'm going to do it on all 4 corners. But instead of making a line, I just go ahead. So, and there you go. Now, I'm going to bring the camera in closer so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Okay, so it's folded in half, and I'm going to use these squares on my mat to figure out where to cut. So, 1 square is 1 inch, so there's my inch, and 2 inches long. So I want it 1 inch high from the bottom, 2 inches long, like that. And then you get these divots. Then I'm going to fold it the other way, and I'm going to do the same thing. And if they're not exact, it's okay. So, make sure you can see it. So it's 2 inches this way, 1 inch that way. So I lay my ruler across like that, and then I take my rotary cutter. Now you could draw a line, and then you could take your scissors and cut it. That's all well and good. So here we go. It looks like an X. So we're going to do that to all of them. Okay, so I have stitched them, and I have cut out the notches. Now what I need to do is I need to sew the notches. So I'm going to sew from here to here, from here to here, and I'm going to fold it over, and it's going to start looking cup-like, and then I'm going to sew from here to here, and from here to here. So then when I open it, it's going to be more like holding a roll. So let's go to the sewing machine. And remember, right sides together. We don't want the stitching on the outside. Essentially what you're doing is you're closing in this area. So you're just stitching this to make it stay. And I'm going to do a pretty significant seam just so that, because these are going to get a lot of wear and tear, so it can take the wear and tear. So what I'll do is I will start on the outside, and I'll go a few stitches, and then I'm going to back stitch because I want to make sure that I've got a pretty solid seam. Okay, so I have sewn all those little seams together. So I have a bunch of bowls. So I have 2 different styles. I have this style and I have this style. So what I want to do is I want to put them right sides together. Okay, right sides together. Otherwise, you're not going to be happy with the outcome. Alright, so I want my points to match, the seams to match, points to match, all that good stuff. Okay, and as of right now, you have got a whole lot of stuff to sew through. Also, and I speak from experience, give a generous seam. I know you're going to think, oh, I want as much of the bowl koozie to be out as possible, and that's all well and good. But again, once you get this bad boy turned right side out, you don't want to have to go back in. So, just like you did a generous seam with this, do a generous seam. to make sure that you're going to get the batting in the seams. Speak from experience. Okay, so I need to leave an opening, and I don't want my opening to be on this seam or this corner. So I want to sew past this seam, and I want to sew past this corner and leave my opening in between. I only need one, but it has to be big enough that I can pull all this fabric through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, now see, this side has batting that's a little further from the edge, so I'm going to turn this actually the other way so that I make sure that I get everything lined up. And these double seams are going to be a little harder to get through, just to give you a heads up. So what I'll do is I'll take a clip that's going to go where I want to stop sewing. You can clip these together, you can pin these together. I just go ahead and sew. You know, I'm not a big pin fan. And try to make sure that your points are lined up when you sew. Alright, so let me try to get this out of your way so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to have a corner to go around pretty quickly. And I've got my machine set to a pretty low setting. I'm going to set it even lower for right now, and then I'll raise it as I feel more comfortable. So I'm going to sew a little ways. I have it really slow. And then I'm going to backstitch because I'm going to be pulling a lot of material through, and I want to make sure that I've gotten it nice and sturdy in there, because I don't want to rip out my stitches. Okay, so I'm going to go from one extreme to the other. Okay, so now I'm going to lift my foot and turn it a little, because I'm going to be on the corner and I don't want to lose my seam allowance. So here we're stitching along, and I know it's really slow, but I'm kind of moving material as I go. Okay, now I'm coming up to where these two seams come together. So, kind of like in quilting, when I lift my presser foot, I am going to put the seams, I'm going to try and nest them together so that they'll match. Now, again, I'm going to have to be pulling and pushing fabric because this is a really, really, really thick seam. And it did really well. It's doing fine. So here's my opening. I'm going to look on both sides and make sure that I've gotten my batting in all the spots. Like I said, here it's very close, but it's still on the batting. In order to make it easier to turn it right side out, we're going to trim these corners. Now, this is where I struggle. I find it very hard to bring it through this little itty bitty spot, because this is a little itty bitty spot. I'm going to go and I'm going to get the corner from the furthest piece away. And I'm going to pull him through, and at the same time, I'm going to push the other inside out. Here's a corner. Looks good. Let's get this last corner. I think that's 4. Alright. Alright. Devo, anybody? And I have a beautiful bowl koozie. Cozy, koozie, koozie, cozy. See? Isn't that cool? And then we need to, when we're top stitching, we want to close this opening that we used. Just like that. And it almost closes itself together. And then I'm going to put a little clip right there. Last step, and this is probably the thickest that your project has been yet. And I always start with where I'm closing the opening. So for some reason, pressing it just, I don't know, it smooths it all out. I can't explain it. It just works well. So actually, I'm going to start here and get around that corner. So this is where I will end. Okay, so I'm going to go forward a few stitches, and then I'm going to back stitch just because, and here's where I'm going to turn. Take off my clip, make sure that my seam's okay. And here we go. Okay, so now I'm getting ready to take it over the thickest part of this project. So I'm going to help it. I'm going to be pushing it, and I'm going to be pulling it. And I'm just going to go really slowly. And I know sometimes I've had to actually use that little knob over there. I don't even know what it's called. But the knob on the side of the machine that I never use, I've actually had to use that for this particular part of the project. And I hope you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so here is my bowl koozie. And where's my bowl? My bowl fits perfectly in my bowl koozie. And you can turn it the other way so that you have the different fabric on the outside. These make, and I know you don't want to hear this, but these make great gift ideas. If somebody has a favorite football team or basketball team, or they like dogs, or there are a million different things that you can do with them. And if you use the right materials, all 100% cotton, and the Wrap and Zap batting, they can go in the microwave. Thank you for joining me. Please subscribe, and if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, and click the notification bell when you subscribe, and then you'll get any new videos that I come out with. Thank you, everybody. I know you have lots of options when you're watching YouTube videos. I appreciate you watching mine.